2, 3, let's make. Woof. There's a mystery waiting on the workbench tonight. A loose little wire or a belt too tight. If it squeaks, if it shakes, if it just won't go, we'll tear it down and find out what it knows. Measure it, mend it, put that part to the test. Keep what works and upgrade all the rest. From a pile of parts to something running right. Captain Kearn is in the workshop tonight. Workshop Wednesdays, come on, let's go! Break it, learn it, make it better than before. Workshop Wednesdays, pull up a chair! We're making, fixing, laughing. See you there. Turn the wrench, tune the bed, let the hot end sing. You never know what the next repair will bring. Maybe it's a rescue, maybe something new. Maybe one small problem turns to 22. No shame in starting over, no fear of asking why. The best ideas get better every time we try. Fix it? Let's try it. Upgrade? All right. Worth saving? We're finding out tonight. Workshop Wednesdays. Come on, let's go! Break it, learn it, make it better than before. Workshop Wednesdays. Pull up a chair! We're making, fixing, laughing. See you there on Workshop Wednesdays with Captain Kearn.
Welcome, everybody. Workshop Wednesdays. Quarters in session. I used the wrong hammer. Hi, everybody. Joined tonight with Jonathan over here, right there. Tonight, we are putting 3D printing myths on trial. I hope everybody enjoyed the new intro. And it was fun to make that today. I figured we needed something fun and new and lively for Workshop Wednesdays. And yes, that is me singing. I just made AI make me sound better, like 20 years ago. Let's say hi to everybody before we start. Yeah. Let's see, we got Heidi, we got Wifey, we got Brian the Science Guy, we got Jonathan, he's like right there.
Yeah. We got Anthony.
We got Anthony, we got Da Vinci, we got Brian the Science Guy again. Let's see, we got Cody, JPP. Buddy, JPP, man, if you want to come on the panel, this would be the perfect fit, man. You know, we're debating 3D printing myths. And court is in session tonight. Caleb, what's up, man? You're welcome as well. If you guys want to link, DM me in Discord. And I will send you the thing, the brief, the court brief. I don't have the wig and I don't have a real gavel, but we have Mjolnir. Mjolnir is better. Mjolnir is better than all the gavels in the world. So, and if Mjolnir doesn't work, well, I got a mallet. And, you know.
And probably 50 other hammers over the side, too.
So, court is now in session tonight. The 3D printing advice that we repeat without questioning is going to be on trial. And you, the chat, are the jury.
Ooh, Brad says Odyssey was a waste of money and time.
Well, I told him that before he went.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard for probably Nolan to top Oppenheimer, too, though.
Yes. So we're going to be giving you the myths, and you guys are the jury. We will hear the claim, argue both sides, look at the evidence, and decide whether it is true or false. Or the most dangerous phrase in 3D printing, it depends. Yes. kind of like grandma and her incontinent issues. Anyway, but welcome, Build Over Bot. Bob, how you doing? If you want a link on this as well, man, Brad, you have access. You know, anybody that wants a link to this is more than welcome to join the panel to debate these very spicy little myths. And Caleb, there's no such thing as spicy red sauce for you. I just, letting the world know you don't have taste buds. The rules of the show: the opening and the rules. 5-minute debate. Main docket. We're going to choose 12 to 15 popular claims at 3 to 4 minutes of debate each. Lightning round gets 10 to 15 claims at 45 to 60 seconds each. You guys know we're not going to follow these rules. And then viewer submitted hot takes get 10 to 20 minutes. The final verdict recap and the next week's tease gets 5 minutes. Okay. That's cool, man. Well, you don't even have to be on camera if you don't want to. So
Where is it?
there is such a thing as about coming on without being on camera. By the way, everybody, just so you guys know, I did spend, I want you to point up to something. My well-earned Twitch donations and Twitch monies and YouTube monies paid for the installation. And look, we have a ceiling fan. So, yes. And it is nice and comfy in here right now, other than a bit humid. It is a cute fan. Yes. Air circulation, very good. It is. Very good indeed. So we're going to go ahead and start it off. Now, here's how we're going to do this. We're going to read the claim without revealing the bench verdict. So I'll go first. And then after the claim's done and we debate it, then Jonathan can go, or I can go again, or whoever's in, can go. That's how we're going to work this. The first docket, and you guys are going to love this one: first layers and bed leveling. Number one, I've just got to say this. I got to say this because I'm going to throw a hissy fit. It's called tramming, not leveling. Bed tramming, bed tramming, bed tramming. Clip that. You can go ahead and clip that. I don't care. You can clip it. It's tramming. There's no such thing as bed leveling. It's bed tramming.
I never even heard of that before, so that's the first time I've ever heard of it.
Feel so much better. I feel so much better. And we have the amazing Supermod Heidi in the chat, spamming out everybody's awesome channels. So the claim: you must level your bed before every print. You must tram your bed before every print. Exactly, verbal. Exactly. That is the claim. Now, why people believe it? A printer that has not been moved, crashed, serviced, or thermally disturbed should not require full mechanical tramming, it says tramming, before every job. The evidence: Marlin and Klipper treats corner leveling, probing, mesh storage, and mesh activation as separate operations. A mesh can be reused while repeated loss of tram points to loose hardware, gantry drift, worn mounts, or procedure problem, not universal ritual. Look, my question to you guys, the jury in chat, if leveling before every print is mandatory on your machine, what is moving between prints? And here we go. Your verdict.
Built over bot is a bad advice if it's for some printers. I'm like, I mean, some printers it is on by default.
It is. I mean, there is. All right. So Anthony says thermodynamics. Zybertex, the build plate. Verbal says the effing bed screws. Caleb says depends on the machine, right? The 2.4 would be the gantry moving. Zybertech again says you take the print off. You can move the bed. Anthony says, I will say, what is moving? My confidence. Brian the Science says the micro adjustments or for the nozzle wear. That's an interesting one. Da Vinci says, I Z-tilt to the frame with a pair of 1, 2, 3 blocks mounted to each side of the bed. This trams the X gantry to the frame, and then I will use BL Touch to level the bed to the gantry with the screws. That's actually a very good practice. I have done that myself. Caleb says, well, core XY, core XZ could be screws, gantry, and Z being loose. Cybertech says, especially in Ender 3. We all know the Ender 3 issues and Ender 3 clones. Mandalorian, welcome. You're just in time. We're just getting started. So, Jonathan, what is your take?
I mean, I'm one of those ones where most of my printers, it is on by default. At least I know the bamboo is, but granted, the bamboo is sitting behind me on the floor because it needs repairs. But I know, I mean, my snap maker, I tend to, maybe not every print, but every couple of prints, I will do it just to make sure, especially with having switched to the Firethorn plates, which are thicker than your standard plate. So I just want to make sure it's still within level.
Absolutely. I mean, the Firethorn plates are awesome. This is a shameless plug for Mandela Roseworks Firethorn plates sold by Central 3D Printing. Exclamation point Firethorn in chat. Anyway, go buy yours today. Well, the verdict is in. We'll use Mjolnir on this one because I want to smash this nasty myth. Oh, wait. Before we do this, we have Mr. Howie Do It. We can't hear you, my friend.
We cannot hear you, Brad.
Check your audio. FHW, what's happening? Welcome to the stream. Oh my gosh, my nose is itching like mad and I don't know why. Mr. Free Heathen in the house. How you doing, buddy? I haven't seen you much this week. Hope you're doing all right. Brad's trying to get his audio worked out. So, if you click the little up arrow right next to the mute button, you should just be able to set your audio input and output right there.
Unless he's muted on his headset itself. But because sometimes those gaming headsets will do that to you.
Yeah, they're kind of finicky sometimes. Well, while we're patiently waiting here, we have no issues there. But let's do this. We're going to go ahead, and I just can't resist doing this because I just can't. It's got to happen. We're going to pronounce verdict on claim number 1 that you must level your bed before every print. False. It is absolutely false. As long as your hardware is intact, you do not have to do this. And the sheer audacity that some of this hardware has to auto bed level things Viper, I have audio.
You guys hear me now?
Oh, yes, we do.
We got audio. Yes.
Nice.
We got audio for you. But yes, so you do not have to level on your hardware. No, it does not. The real answer is not. It depends. It is false. Categorically false, especially for modern hardware. Especially with bed scanning technology, you do not need to level your bed every single time, or tram your bed, which is the correct terminology.
You won't even notice unless it goes far enough out that it can't correct well enough anymore.
Exactly.
Which for some of these machines is a full millimeter.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I do
because
probably
the
run
mesh
the bed level
itself,
more than I should.
the mesh itself stays in memory. So that is categorically false unless you're still running an Ender 3 without any sort of mesh ability at all. So we're going to pause for just a moment. Mr. Howie Dewitt's on the show now. How are you doing? And
I'm good.
Let's just take a squirrel moment and tell us just how crappy that movie was.
Yes, please do.
So that was between the popcorn and the movie, and two of us going, that's $50 and about 3 hours of my life I will never get back. You were dead right when you told me that earlier today.
So ironically, there was something that got put up on X today.
Yeah.
Elon Musk offered $100 million
Yeah.
to have the movie redone properly.
Oh, geez, that's how bad it is, huh?
I hate it when people make me have to agree with that guy.
He offered $100 million to have it redone correctly.
I mean, because
They
no one
should've took
did
The actors were
Oppenheimer
all right.
very well.
The actors did fine. It was the whole plot line just dragged and dragged.
The plot line in the script apparently is garbage.
Yeah, and it's slow. You got all this action about once every hour and a half.
Yeah, I will not go see it.
I mean, I won't say that it's, equivalent to the worst 3D printer ever made, but it's up there.
Once.
All right, next claim. Who wants to go?
You guys go. I need to go pick up a package from my door.
Yes, yes, Tom. That is the one with Elliot Page.
Yep. And they picked a star that looks even older than me.
Oh, well, Jonathan just left. So
Yeah, I'm right back.
Jondo. All right. John, do you want to join this?
There we go. There we go.
All righty. All right. Let me give you just a second. Let me send this off to Senor John Doe. There's the stream link and the show brief. So, yeah, I tend not to tram or level my bed, but once out of about every 15 to 20 prints anymore, because it just wastes a lot of time.
Well, I've got eddy current sensors on most everything, so I just go ahead and let it zip across the bed and make a new mesh.
I don't know, Cybertech Tom. I have no idea. I haven't seen it. I just read all the reviews and they all stink. Welcome, John Doe, to the stream.
How's everybody doing?
Doing good.
John, how you doing?
We're
There's
doing excellent.
So many people are streaming tonight. I was like, I had to look around and find you.
Yeah, it's, you know what? It's kind of interesting that everybody decided to stream on a Wednesday. I'm like, that's
Right.
interesting.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and I don't care. You know,
Yeah,
everybody
no.
does what they got to do. So
Yeah. It's good to see everybody.
yeah. But we're going through, and we've opened up court on all these 3D printing myths, and we're going to put them to bed tonight.
That sounds good.
Now,
I've done a little bit of 3D printing.
just a little bit, not much. I don't 3D print, not at all. I don't do any of that. I don't do any of that crap.
All my 3D printers are on this side of the room. So
Yeah, we can't see the 175 rolls of filament directly behind you. But anyway,
so
Since Jonathan was second in. Jonathan, you want to read claim 2? Remember,
Sure.
don't read the verdict.
My
Yeah,
filament
that's all
pile
right, I
doesn't look much different. That's my filament pile.
So, claim 2, automatic bed leveling fixes a warped bed. And why it is believed a probe can map an uneven surface so it feels as if the bed has been repaired. Mesh compensates for the Z to follow measure contours. It does not physically flatten the plate. Repair a loose mount, remove a high spot, or restore usable travel. Large deformations still affect geometry and available Z correction.
Yeah, it doesn't fix the bed. It just helps it compensate for it.
I think when you're leveling a bed, you also need to learn how to read the graph as well, because some people get all hung up on 0.0001 differences, and
Absolutely.
because their bed is very flat.
Well, they also get hung up on 0.02.
Right.
And just because you see that little, this on 0.02 doesn't mean anything. That means there's a little ridge, if you have 0.5 and like that, then you got a problem.
Yes, you need to know how to read the graph first.
And they also need to figure out when you're looking at a graph, you need to understand which direction is X and Y.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll be perfectly honest. When I first got into Klipper, I didn't know how to read that. So I kept using painter's tape in the wrong direction. And then trying to figure out how come I can't get this damn thing to level out.
My first Ender 3 had a glass bed, and I used a permanent marker, X and Y, so I could remember.
Yeah. But I mean, in Klipper, you know, when you can move that, you know, graph around, and it was like, okay, which one's X and which one's Y? Because it changes on you when you spin it.
Yes.
It's like, stop doing that. But so the question is at what point in compensation hiding is a mechanical problem? Is it a wait, what did I write there? At what point in compensation hiding a mechanical problem instead of solving it? I apparently can't type for crap.
I think we got what you meant is, you know, a certain bed is warped. And so maybe you'll put some tape underneath it to try to fix the leveling or something like that. But, you know, using a probe can help get that first layer down. But at what point is the probe or the bed leveling not going to suffice to get that first layer down? Is that the question you were asking?
Yeah. At what point is composition high?
It won't fix the bed, right?
Yeah,
so,
it won't.
At some point.
At some point, you're going to actually physically have to mechanically repair the bed itself, whether it's the bed mount, the springs, you know, the actual bed, you know, take a file and flatten it, which I've actually done to an Ender 3 and it did work. It's quite painstaking, by the way. But a mesh isn't going to fix it.
It fixes a small defects, right? And
Yes.
and it fixes it over several layers, right? It's not just like going to magically fix the first layer not sticking or, you know, some serious problems, but it will compensate for, you know, some small differences. But there's some point where you're never going to get the printer to stick right because it's not laying the filament down appropriately.
Yep. Or if you have looseness going on, you know, things
That's
are loose
the
and
number
wobbling
one killer.
around. Yep.
Yep.
Clogged nozzle and you're under extruding. It will never stick down very well.
Tom, that's horrible.
What'd you do, Tom?
I draw the line at 0.4 millimeter. That's very punny.
As long as it sticks, I'll send it. Although, dude, on that M1, before they sent out the new bed, you could print something. It would compensate and it would stick, but you would pull, like, say, a long, flat piece off, and you could hold it up and see the curve in the thing. And it wasn't warping. It was just that's the bed. It would have been great for printing bows and arrows.
I will say this. A machinist square and a set of 1, 2, 3 blocks.
Yeah.
And this are your absolute best friend.
Yep.
So I learned go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, and even if you don't have a machinist square, everybody can afford this. A good long steel ruler. Because if you can put that down on your bed and not slip anything underneath there, not see daylight with a flashlight, your bed's pretty flat. At least flat enough.
Yep. Move it around in an X and a plus and move it in different directions and try to see light underneath it. So I learned how to figure out bed leveling on a Delta because that was my first 3D printer. And on a Delta, it was rough. And a delta, the end stops are at the top. So the head rises, hits all 3 end stops at the top, and then the nozzle is determined to be hopefully level. But when you come down, it's got to come around and like touch the bed. And if that bed is tilted or tacoed or something like that, it's never going to touch the bed correctly. So
Absolutely.
learning how to do it on a delta was pretty much a nightmare to start
That's
with.
a school of hard knocks right there.
Yes. So, but like on the ender, you had the concentric bearings underneath that if they weren't tight, you know, your bed would be wobbling. So, because it went back and forth on a track. And if you didn't have your bearings tight, you needed to tighten them correctly. And so if you tried to tap on one side and tap on the other side and the bearings weren't, you could be in all kinds of world hurt, you know, and you wouldn't ever know how to fix it unless you had ran through those problems that actually looked at everything. So, you know, with today's Core XYs, you know, you get some of these new machines, it's so much easier, but still, you know, we got some of those, what was that big 300 or 400 printer that everybody was buying? That was like the Voron knockoff.
SB08.
Yes, the SB08.
Yeah.
Everybody got those, and the beds were just very thin and not very well.
Hey, Squid.
Everybody said they were tacoed, so, you know. And that's a brand new printer, basically, you know, one of the newest ones. And so they still had bed problems. So bed leveling does not fix mechanical issues. This is one jury member's opinion is bed leveling only does so much. It does not fix mechanical problems.
It will.
Well, we're kind of the prosecution here. The chat's, you know, the jury.
We're the
Bed leveling will assist you with the distance between your nozzle and the bed. That's what it's for. That getting that gap correct.
Yes.
It's just a matter of, you know, the myth itself is that software can fix everything, and that's wrong. If it's, you know, I mean, if it's shaped like an airplane wing at that point, you're pretty much just going to need to get a new one.
Yeah.
And stop buying artillery printers.
Stop using Mountain Dew cans for beds.
Yeah.
So, the verdict is it's false. All right. It don't
It's
fix
important.
nothing.
It is
It's
important.
important, but it doesn't fix it.
Yep.
It assists the issue.
Yes.
That's all it does.
Another thing that comes into this automatic bed leveling is heating the bed, because when you heat the bed, there's an expansion of materials that you may have to use that, you know, sensor to change. That's changed from when it's a cold bed to a warm bed. That was a big learning curve too.
Yeah.
So
I'm still here, by the way. I'm just got to stand up and stretch because I just got a massive cramp in my back.
So should we go on to claim 3?
Claim 3. Just don't read the verdict initially.
Oh. All right, I'll read that one. A dense mesh can compensate for tilt and local height variation.
Well, what's the claim first?
The claim is with a probe, manual tramming no longer matters. So if you have a probe, you don't have to tram your X anymore, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So like when we first started doing 3D printers with the Ender, we would put a little dial gauge on the front of the nozzle or the holder, the head, and then move it across and make sure that everything was trammed to the same number, moving it around the bed.
So you stayed on a flat plane all the way.
And so this is with a probe, like a BL Touch or what's some other probes? The Eddy probe.
The clicky probe, the
clicky
the original clickies.
Yep.
Or
or
there's
any,
all sorts of them out
yeah,
there. Yeah.
any of those that you don't need a tram anymore, right? Caleb says false. Let's see. The probe measures, it does not square the gantry, synchronize an out of tram access, or reduce a badly tilted bed correction burden. Marlin's own setup guidance starts with corner leveling and then probing. So you turn the dials on each corner to get that leveled. And so you have to get the machine close before asking the software to compensate. Is that true or false? How much bed mesh variance would make you stop and reach for the bed knobs? What do you think?
Oh. Viper.
Viper says it's true. And who said it was false? Caleb says false. Viper says the Easy BL Touch is like what he likes to use, and he thinks that's true. You don't what?
I'm kind of confused.
Dense mesh can compensate for tilt and variable height. So he thinks that's true. Is that? So what are some other people on the video?
What's everybody else think in the jury? Come on, chat. What do you guys say? I am.
Brian, the science says it doesn't depend on the size of the nozzle and the layer height. At some point, it becomes negligible.
Yeah, there is some truth to that.
Oh, what do we got here? Oh.
What do you think,
The man,
Jonathan?
the myth, the legend.
I see. This
Other
was
than
I
that
really
garage.
don't know because I really never had to deal with that. To be honest, I've only had the modern Core XY.
So that makes a big difference. That's for sure.
It does make a big difference, but not as much as I would say people think.
Well, at some point, you're going to knock the bed loose. And I think Down Undermaker was having some problems with his bed on his Prusa just now, where he was having some binding on his Z because he has the bed out of square. So there still can be issues with the newer printers. Maybe not quite as much as the old ones, but
I will say this just as something on my Adventure 5M. I have had to adjust the bed screws because there's no knobs twice.
What's up, Caleb? Which one are we discussing currently?
Number 3.
Number 3.
Where we think that with the probe, the tramming no longer matters, like doing it manually.
Oh no, it absolutely does. But since I missed the first two, can I go back and make my assertions on those?
Sure. Well, let's finish this. Let's finish claim 3 first, and then we can go back.
Okay. So
let's go ahead and read the verdict.
The verdict is false. That you still need to make sure that tramming, it makes sure that your gantry is square with the build plate. Even with
Absolutely.
most modern printers, there are things like the Virtue where it has a belted 3-axis Z where it will automatically do it for you. But most printers, you still need to do some type of screw leveling. So
I mean,
manual,
if it ain't square, you can't make a square.
so a manual probe only does so much, right?
The Sawzall does the rest. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that.
All right.
Heidi, don't advertise that anymore, please. Seek maker, no good. Bye-bye. They go bye-bye.
What was that? That fiber printer thing?
No, it's that website that I was trying to do a sponsorship with, and they decided to just stop talking. And I have no idea why. I
bet
think
they wouldn't have
that
a
the
chat.
guy doesn't work with them any longer.
Brad, I just want to compliment you on your shirt, sir.
Oh man, styling and profiling.
It is a very styling shirt. Oh, man.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, I hope I can get this out of my back.
All right, Alex, you're free to go back and talk about the claims.
Let's
1 and 2.
recap.
Yes.
So, claim 1, you must level the bed before every print. What did you guys come up with?
Close.
You guys
Oh,
came
it's
up
patently
with
false.
Okay. So, here's something. It's what I figured you guys would go with. And just
quite
to
a bit
play
of static,
devil's
by the way.
advocate, because what's that?
You have quite a bit of static coming through, by the way.
I have a bunch of static coming through.
Yes, sir.
Let me try moving my mic.
I also wasn't here for claim 1.
Neither was I.
So while Alex is fixing his mic, I will chime in a bit. I don't want to steal his thunder. I just want to say that I think the bed leveling
Cool, Da Vinci.
is automatically done by most new printers. So I agree that you don't have to do it because it's already been done. I only bed level maybe, on my printers, maybe when I move them to modify something, or if I accidentally push the bed down or something like is not working right, then I'll bed level. But most of the time I do not bed level. So go ahead, Alex.
Okay. Do I sound a little better now? Number 1.
No.
No.
Sorry.
What mic is this thing picking up?
The not
I'm
good one.
not sure.
Yeah.
It's like garbled.
And it's not giving me an option to.
It almost sounds like you're getting out of range of the mic. Like
So if you click the up arrow next to the mute button, you should be able to make sure it's on the right mic.
Audio input.
All right. Is that any better?
Yes.
That is.
Oh yeah, much
All
better.
right. Yeah, I set it up to do my DJI mic, but for some reason it was pulling off of my headset. So I'm going to go and say that you should level the bed before every print. Here's a couple of reasons why. On like a Klipper machine, you can set it up and do a bed mesh, save it, and then pull that bed mesh back in every time you go to print.
Yep.
Most macros are not set up to do that.
Correct.
Most macros are set up to clear the bed mesh, and if you don't run one, you're running without one. So that's first. Yes, if you have a good build plate, if you have a good bed and you have a good build plate, doing a tramming your gantry or tramming your bed, depending on if you're running like a 2.4 style or a Trident style or whatever, is going to get you pretty close. But also machines like the Centauri Carbon, the bamboo machines, all that stuff, all that, their macros and whatnot are kind of hidden. You don't know what they're loading and what they're not loading. Also, beds heat different at 60, at 100, at 90, at 80, whatever you're doing. And if you just go, I'm running this one bed mesh, I ran it at 110, I'm going to run it at 60, it's going to be different. And also, as a bed experiences multiple heat cycles, it's going to change.
That is true.
The amount of time that it takes to do a bed mesh is so minuscule in comparison to the amount of time that it takes to do the actual print. Like, I could see if you were, spending 3 hours doing a bed mesh for a 5-minute print. I get it, right? Like, yeah. But generally, my rule of thumb is if the footprint of the object that I am printing is more than 1 inch square, I do a bed mesh.
If I'm using a $40 a roll thing of cookie CAD, I'm damn sure doing a bed mesh.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
You're running a 3-day print and you're worried about saving 2 minutes on the front end of it on a bed mesh. It doesn't make any sense. It is it always necessarily strictly needed? Probably not. Depending on your machine, your macros, if you're running, if you did your bed mesh at 60, the only thing that machine runs is PLA. Do you have to do one every time? No. Should you do one occasionally? Yeah. But really, what is it costing you just to run the bed mesh? So
and that's
I
the whole
would say,
point of the myth is, is it absolutely necessary? No. Is it wise? Yes.
Yeah. So here's my thing, right? If it might not be necessary, but it is wise. So a wise man would say that it is necessary.
And I would just like to point out that I think we can see a few more hairs missing out of Jonathan's forehead.
That maybe is true. Maybe I should have said.
The count was 92 last week, I'm sure.
I know. I think we just counted 90.
I'm sure there's
claim 2 automatic bed leveling fixes a warped bed. It does not fix a warped bed. It compensates for a warped bed. So, false.
Can compensate.
Yes, it can. It depends on resolution. It depends on how far off it is. And remember that compensation, the way bed meshes work is if this point is, 1 millimeter higher than this point over here, it is slowly going to make it so that they're on the same plane, which means this part of your print is going to end up 1 millimeter taller than this part of your print over here. So, with that being said, size of your part, your requirements for accurate dimensions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
maybe if it's really far out, maybe you work on replacing the bed. Oftentimes, so PEI, especially ones that are sprayed on, have a tendency to not be the same thickness uniformly across that build plate. And sometimes spring steel isn't rolled out to the exact same thickness. Your build plate itself could be within, 0.1 millimeter, but you run a bed mesh and you're like, what's going on? They said that this build plate was within 0.1 millimeter, and I'm getting a bed mesh that's off by 0.8. What's going on? Well, maybe it's the thickness of your magnet, your PEI, your flex plate. Like, there's a lot of other things that go on that bed that you're also measuring with that. So
if you're using a spring steel sheet, you really do need to run your bed mesh a little more often, because that's one of the most mobile surfaces to print on. It lived its life rolled up in a roll, and it wants to go back to being in a roll. It is a very changing surface, especially depending on your temperature, but it wants to curl.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that also is another reason why running a bed mesh every time is kind of wise, because it's not just your,
Could be your glue buildup if you use a glue stick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, yes.
There's a lot of things. And remember, like, eddy current probes are not going to take in consideration when they probe for a home position, and then they do a scan for the rest of the bed. If there is a variation in PEI thickness, it's not going to pick that up. It is scanning the spring steel plate underneath the PEI. It can compensate for quite a bit, but it's not the end all be all. There's a lot that goes into it. How much of it matters at the end of the day for the average person is another debate altogether, though.
Absolutely true. So, claim number 4. Are we all cut up, by the way?
Yes.
And let me do this real quick. We're gonna move this down. There we are.
How was the movie, Brad, while Cap figures that out?
It was terrible. Don't waste your money on it.
Oh, was it? Oh,
Yeah.
that's disappointing.
It really was. They could have condensed that whole thing down to about an hour and a half and got rid of a bunch of fluff in the middle.
Well, the Odyssey's like 10 books long, isn't it?
It is. But they just kind of dragged it all out, though. The Odyssey was a fantastic book. But this particular, they left out the good things and zeroed in on the gods aspect of it, and life lessons and that sort of thing, and politics.
Oh, so they tried to teach me morality.
Yes, they tried to teach us. They tried to teach morality and consequences.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
If you can sum up the Odyssey in like one kind of phrase, it is the entire thing is about hospitality and how to treat one's guests. That's the entire thing of the entire Odyssey.
So,
I'm just saying.
Who wants to read claim 4?
Using glue stick proves your printer is badly calibrated.
Here's the claim.
I love this one.
and then you read why people believe it.
Oh, why people believe it? Sorry, I'm not familiar with the format.
I don't. I'm just guessing.
For PLA on a clean, suitable PEI surface, glue usually should not be necessary just to make a normal first layer stick.
Then you have your evidence.
Oh, okay.
Or are we supposed to discuss it before we give the evidence? How do you
Well,
want
we
to
can.
Or how do you want to do the format here?
I mean, it's it's kind of a free fall in this particular manner. Why people believe it, we can stop there and we can debate that and discuss it, and then we can go on to the evidence. That'll work too.
Yeah, I want to hear Zybertek's thoughts on this in particular. Tom,
yeah,
go.
that would be interesting.
He said he doesn't use glue at all. No glue at all, he says.
I don't use glue anymore.
Get your Z right.
But I have a superior build plate.
Yeah, I mean, on a severe build plate, you don't need glue, but as your standard PI does wear, I think you do need it.
Get your Z right and you won't have any issues. No?
The time you want to use it is actually not to make things stick down. It's actually more later when you want things to release.
As a guy who's made gallons of adhesive, I've got thoughts on this.
Glue stick is not the same as adhesive, sir.
I mean, here's my homemade.
I forgot to bring you a bottle to Murph, didn't I, Jonathan?
Well, I've made my own now, so it doesn't know.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
So these are PEI sheets that you can glue down to spring steel or to glass bed. And when I was first starting building 3D printers and using cold beds, because heated beds weren't a thing as much, they were kind of expensive. That was one of the first things that people said, use PEI and you don't have to use any glue anymore. Because when we first started, we used Elmer's glue. Because that's what it was. And a lot of people hated that because it leaves a bunch of stuff all over your parts, and so they were looking for something. That's how PEI got discovered. As some chemist said, well, let's use this.
Kapton tape is PEI, isn't it? It's Ultim.
Yep, that's what it is.
It is.
It's just very thin. So anybody else care to weigh in before I go on a rant?
Nope,
you know what?
I said my bit.
I'm going to let you have at it this one.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I like the shirt. I never argue.
You should. Yes, I never argue. I just explain why I'm right. That's what my shirt says.
I'm going to enjoy this one.
If my camera would come down, I never argue. I just explain why I'm right. So you should make sure your Z is right. You should make sure that your first layer has the appropriate amount of squish to it. You should make sure that you're printing on a clean build plate. But that does not guarantee that your print is going to stick. Some materials just do not want to be printed, and we print them anyway for specific purposes. Okay, your PLAs, your ABSs, your ASAs, your nylons, your polycarbonates, they're probably not what I'm talking about. Okay, but there are materials that will warp, it can stick to a bed and pull the build plate right off of a magnet. And that's just a fight between a magnet and the build sheet. Once you've gotten to the point where your Z offset's good, you've got your bed mesh because you're a wise person and you ran it. Putting a bed adhesive on there is, again, an extra line of insurance, right? if you've got a good, you've got to make sure that you're using the right adhesive for whatever you're running, right? And some materials can't even be printed on a PEI sheet. Some materials you need to print on a glass sheet, and guess what? It does not stick to glass. You've got to have a intermediary there that sticks to the glass and to the plastic. And then, like PETG, TPU, stuff like that can oftentimes stick too well to materials that we frequently use as build plates, and that layer in between also acts as a easy way to remove the print, because the bond between the part and the adhesive, or the adhesive and the build plate, can be broken easier than the plastic to the build plate. So using glue stick or whatever adhesive you choose to use does not mean that your printer is badly calibrated, that you're bad at printing or whatever. It is, again, a wise person gets the insurance policy, right? Especially when you start printing with engineering materials that, you know, are hundreds of dollars a kilogram. It makes no sense to not do everything you possibly can to make sure that that print doesn't fail.
I was just looking for said engineering grade filaments that I was gifted samples of. I have about a dozen of them over the last year, or the last 2 years, I would say, that I have gotten, you know, the little 50-gram samples of, either through Rocky Mountain 2025 or last year, or just in the mail. And I've printed some of those and made the fatal mistake of, or just weird filaments that were shipped to me, of not putting something down, and they don't stick. You have to have some sort of adhesive.
Here's the interesting thing that I found about 3D printing through my journey with it, is that oftentimes things that beginners will do, or things that beginner machines might have, like we recently had a discussion about a BL Touch on a printer, and how sometimes, depending on what you're doing with that machine, a BL Touch might be the ultimate bed probe for that use case and application.
Oh yeah, this is the one I was making fun of.
Yeah,
but it kind of had to have it.
So if you get a machine and you're printing on, let's say you're printing on a carbon fiber build plate, or a glass build surface, or a Garolite build surface, you can't use an eddy current probe, right? You can't really use something like Voron Tap on a carbon fiber sheet or a Garolite plate. It's too soft. So all of a sudden, the BL Touch that you thought you moved past and had moved to far superior things circles back around and becomes the best bed probe for that use case. There's a medium application for most printers where, like, people fall into, and then once you start moving out into more specialized stuff, you realize that maybe some of the stuff you thought was ridiculous and was amateur isn't anymore.
Yeah, what was that? Like 1,000 by 1,000 build plate?
Yeah, and it was glass.
With a BL Touch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I use glue. I showed off this build plate where you can see it's just coated with glue. But the reason it's coated with this stuff called JT16 PVP glue is because it releases TPU. And if you've ever had TPU stick to a bed, it's like impossible to get off. But if it has glue on it, it just comes right off. I mean, it's the glue that's letting it release. So there's a place and time for everything, right?
Yeah. Here's a good example. All right, I've got a CR10 sitting over there. It's got Klipper on it. It's got one of the most basic printer CFGs you've ever seen in your life. All right, because we were looking at it last night, actually. But there's no bed probe on that. It's got a direct drive extruder on it. It's got a glass build plate. There's a reason why it does not have a bed probe on it. I don't want it to bed mesh. I will set up, trim the bed, make sure it's nice and trimmed to the gantry on it. But then oftentimes it has a lot of glue stick that gets built up on it. And I want it to print through that glue stick, not to the glue stick. And if I put a BL Touch on it, it would print to the surface of the glue, not to the surface of the glass build plate. So all of a sudden, having no probe at all suddenly becomes the best solution for that particular use case, right? Somebody that comes in here might look at it and go, "Well, what the hell? You got a CR10 sitting there, or what? Why?" Right? Well, no. What you don't understand is that machine prints some things that nothing else in this shop will print.
Yep.
It's like owning a
So what's the verdict?
full-size router versus a trim router, right?
Yeah,
the right
exactly.
tool for the right job.
Yeah.
The verdict is it depends.
I mean, it could be a sign that you haven't done it right, but if you know that you've done it right and you're still needing to use glue stick for stuff, maybe you're doing something that's a little bit different.
I mean, I can say that I don't generally use a lot of glue sticks anymore, but I have a whole drawer full of them. So they still have.
I might have a couple laying around. I don't really use them, but I do use some 3D lac spray, mostly on ASA and ABS, to help keep it from lifting up and warping. It holds it down a little bit.
I use Nano just the other day on that Ender 3 Max Neo with the glass build plate. I used hairspray because it was just easier because it was in the house.
At the risk of sounding like a shill, I have had zero warping with the Firethorn plates, and I'm running 20 to 30 degrees colder on my plate than I was.
Yes.
So, circling back to the CR10, right? The glass build plate, I can throw Vision Miner on it, and it's going to hold a print to it. I can throw Frank's Goo on it, and it's going to hold a print to it. The reason why that printer normally uses glue stick is because that printer's is the highest Z axis that I have.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say I want it to print through the glue is because there's a lot of glue. I use glue stick on that printer, and it builds up. And then not only is the first layer in glue, the edges, it acts as kind of a brim and goes up a few layers around that part, because oftentimes I print some materials on there that are extremely susceptible to warping that you might normally want to print enclosed, but I need to print very tall, and that's the option that I have.
Yeah, so like ASA, carbon fiber, if you don't have a heater in your enclosure, that's pretty difficult. You can do it, but you have to pull off some tricks to do it. Like maybe having the first 10 layers of having a wall on the brim, so there's like air blocking the corners from curling up and cooling too fast.
Here,
And using a little bit of glue.
polycarbonate gears I just pulled out of the NG, and they is shiny and dirty.
Those look nice.
They do. Moab parts.
Yep.
Yeah, I did something like that the other day, John, with a part. I can't remember what it was. A blaster part. I was having problems with the edges wanting to warp all the time, so I put a brim on it, and then set the skirt distance to the same distance that the brim was, and made the skirt like 20 layers tall.
Yep. You pull out all the tricks in your book when you're trying to get something to print right sometimes. So
I tell you what, the whole draft shield thing, it can help, or it can just warp and your nozzle runs into it and the draft shield knocks your part off. It can go either way. It's 50-50.
For sure, Brad. It all depends on your environmental temperature. There's so many different things that can affect 3D printing. So I think the bench verdict is using a glue stick really depends on your use case. Sometimes you whip out all the tricks in your book.
Yep. So we're actually going to skip over to docket B.
Okay.
Because I know Alex really wants to talk about this one.
Yeah, I think it makes sense too.
PLA never needs drying.
Look at the shitty grin on his face. I'll read this one. All right. Why do people believe it? PLA is less moisture sensitive than nylon, PVA, or TPU, which makes the myth feel true in many shops. I will just go ahead and read the evidence because I just can't help myself. PLA is still hydroscopic. Prusa notes that even PLA can absorb enough moisture to cause surface defects, stringing, blobs, and blubbing, and weak layer adhesion.
Bubbling?
Blubbing, I love that. It's actually in the Prusa document I read.
I think it's a misspelling.
It was bubbling.
Bubbling. Need depends on storage, climate, age, and the print sensitivity.
They forgot one.
Before we ask the jury anything, let's talk about it.
How much light exposure is another factor in the
UV
quality?
How many gallons of water and how long did you leave it in the sun?
Yeah. And how much laxative did it drink?
3 days, half a bottle, 3 gallons. It's sitting out on my deck right now. I need to make it short. But
Gotta go to laxative number 2.
Now, are you sure it needs a laxative? Maybe it needs a constipative.
I'm waiting for John to get his M1 from Creality.
Right. If they ever ship it.
I'm going to mail him a spool of it to play with. Because I'm curious.
Hey,
when Mike comes down, I'm going to give him a roll too, because he's got, I think, one of the recreator extruder things.
Yeah.
I think everybody knows that this is false. There's a material though that is hydrophobic. What?
Yes.
What material
there is that? And I don't know what that is though.
It is not TPU.
We were just talking about it in the Discord the other day.
Maybe chat knows.
I thought Pet G was hydrophobic.
No,
definitely not.
Yeah, it's one of your ugly
ones. No, Pet G soaks up water like there's no tomorrow. It's a sponge.
Yeah.
one of the first results is Reddit with a deleted post saying that it was hydrophobic, and then the first comment is, "People will swear blind that Pet G is hydrophobic," and then underneath it says, "It might be pointed out that Pet G items are water resistant."
Polypropylene, PP,
Polypropylene, yes.
Yes.
and also SEBS, which is a TPE. So if you're looking for a flexible that's not going to get wet, SEBS.
Yeah, but can you even find sebs in a filament spool?
Yeah, it's
Anybody
TPE. Instead of TPU, it's TPE.
Well, that's what I mean. I don't think anybody makes it though.
Yeah, they do.
Really? Be fun to play with.
So
As long as it doesn't cost $300 a roll.
Let's see.
But this is one of the greatest myths that keeps popping up on Reddit.
Yep.
I searched for this particular myth on Reddit, and it came up like 4,000 times in different formats. It's just one of the greatest things I've ever seen. And then people keep going, well, how come my PLA doesn't print right?
So I'm going to tell you where it
Jesus.
comes from, right? Is the tendency for people back in the day when people would show off a print that was had bad print quality is they tell them to dry their filament. All right, and oftentimes people are like, it's brand new filament, and
Doesn't
it probably wasn't wet. It ended up being print settings, right? So as people got good enough to learn how to tune a printer and a print profile and a filament profile, a lot of those issues that people were blaming on wet filament disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
So, and people often burn through rolls of PLA very quickly, printing fidgets and stuff like that. So it doesn't sit around long enough to necessarily get to the point where it is, because it doesn't absorb it as fast as a lot of other materials, right? If I leave a roll
Correct.
of PLA sit on the printer for a couple days, it's fine. If I leave a roll of TPU sit on the printer for a couple days, it most definitely is not fine.
Oh yeah. No, it's not.
So I just did this actually. I left a roll of TPU sitting on the pruser for like a week. Went to print something, it definitely wasn't fine. In fact, I printed butt pads for the same Ontos blaster for 2 days. And from the first to the last, drastic difference in how the print quality was because of the moisture it was absorbing as it went. But
my shop
PLA
area
does it
hangs
so
out around
slowly,
30%.
and people burn through it so quick that oftentimes it wasn't an issue. So,
Yeah,
that's
my
where it
shop
kind of
space
came
hangs out
from.
around 30% humidity. Yeah, things like polycarbonate, TPU, I don't typically have to dry them unless I've had them just laying around forever and ever. If I leave it laying out for a week, I'm fine. A month,
Yeah.
maybe not.
That magic number for humidity with filament seems to be down around 20 to 25%. You can overdry filament.
You can. I've done it.
Yep. You can either dry it too long or too hot. I turned a spool of PLA into worthless crap because it was all stuck together.
Yeah, because
My super cheap dryer I had at the time just kind of ran away on it.
nylon is an interesting one too with moisture. So you want your nylon dry when you print it, but you take it off the printer don't soak it in water, but leave it out in a humid room for a couple weeks, couple months. That print's going to get way stronger. Not all nylons, because some nylons are specifically hydrophobic. They push water away.
Mm-hmm.
I think technically polypropylene is a type of nylon, but yeah, like nylon 6, nylon 12, stuff like that actually gets stronger when it absorbs moisture. So
I have not done much with nylon, so I can't really speak on that one. That's about to change, but
I literally just threw away the last, I think, 100 grams of nylon that I had.
yeah, nylon's an interesting one too. So I've got a nylon over there. I printed Zips Dragster out of it, but it's old. It's absorbed a lot of moisture. I've dried it, but I do not want it, and it doesn't print great, but it prints well enough that I can clean it up. And I have not tried to push it and dry it any further, because I know it will degrade the nylon to the point where, even though it looks nice when it prints, the parts will not stay together afterwards. Nylon, once it's absorbed that moisture, getting it out, you're degrading the plastic to dry nylon.
So that same Reddit post that I started this discussion with says anybody that leaves their spools out for a couple of weeks in just the air will realize how much the water is absorbed into those filaments and makes your spool unusable.
I wouldn't say it makes it unusable, but so the opposite could be true. Let's say you live in a desert and the humidity is 0 to 5%. You leave your spool of filament out, it's actually going to slowly lose moisture out of it and degrade because it's drying out too much.
Yeah. So it says that the G in PETG and in PLA is glycol, and ethylene glycol is used in a chemical reaction to keep those filaments soft by replacing.
It's a plasticizer.
Yeah, to replace a molecule in there that used to be like water, or and some moisture in there, and so if that glycol evaporates because it's replaced back with moisture, because polyethylene glycol says that it's basically very easy to release, then your filament's no good.
Yeah,
so
that's
they have a lot better.
That's exactly why we're soaking the cookie CAD filament in polyethylene glycol, because it's a plasticizer that's used in the production of that plastic.
Yeah, so they have a really good description of it, and I didn't want to read this whole thing, but so I think the verdict on this is false for sure.
Yep, it's absolutely false.
PLA does need drying, but you can't over dry it. So, just you can see why I have all these cereal boxes with desiccant in them, is because it keeps it at a nice 15 degrees humidity in there. So, and I don't want to waste my filament. I want to use it when I want to use it.
Oh, there's a good myth for you. Dry boxes, do they actually dry filament?
If you dump
we can
10
go
pounds
ahead.
of desiccant in there, they will.
By the way, we have so many. There's 40 of these claims so far. So if anybody wants to skip ahead in between, we can do that, because we don't have all the time in the world for all of these.
I thought this was going to be a
multiple series.
I thought this was going to be a series when I saw the number of questions.
We could do it as a series.
So I'll be striking these out so we can do a series of these.
Okay.
The ones that we've already done.
So should we go on to claim 8? Every spool should be dried before every print.
Oh no, Alex just already brought up the other one, so let's do that.
Oh,
one.
okay.
Oh, was that on here?
It is. He isn't even looking at the sheet, probably.
Oh, it is 2 down. Look at that. Nice. So claim numero 9. A dry box will dry a wet spool. Why people believe it? The words dry box makes passive storage sound like an active dryer. Evidence to read. A sealed box with desiccant manually slows further moisture uptake. Removing moisture already absorbed into the filament requires controlled heat and airflow. Some active boxes do both, but a passive dry box is storage, not rehabilitation.
I'll agree with that.
And when I wrote this, I have to admit something to this. When I wrote this, I did something patently wrong. I forgot to include that a decent dryer also has to have desiccant in it, because water doesn't magically disappear.
No, actually, most dryers need to have some way for air to get out, whether that's like the hole where the PTFE tube goes in, if it's desiccant to absorb the moisture that it pulls, that it doesn't necessarily pull it out. It just kind of creates a gradient, and then the more.
I had the Sovol 2-spool dryer for a while before I sold it, and in the instructions it said to crack the lid when you're running it.
What?
Yes.
Well, I mean, that kind of makes sense. It's because you need a way for the moisture to get out.
Yep.
And if you didn't, it would automatically shut off because the humidity would get too high in there.
I mean, I have the Chitu Systems Filla Partner, and it has desiccant storage in the base of each module. So it acts as dryer boxes as well as, when you take them off of the actual dryer. So it does require desiccant in both circumstances, drying and storage.
What I realized when I got that is some filament just likes to be printed warm instead of cold, because it did help on some of my ABS that was starting to get brittle. If I just warmed it up to below my cold basement temperature, it would print just fine. And it was like 70 degrees or 60 degrees, Fahrenheit, something reasonable, not in the cold winter basement.
Welcome.
PPS is like that too.
Yep.
Where it's an extremely brittle material on the spool, and if you heat it up a little bit before you're feeding it into the printer, it makes it a lot easier and prevents filament breakage and stuff like that.
I won't say it's a perfect solution, but it did save some of the ABS that I had left out before I realized that I need to keep everything stored in a box and humidity controlled. One of those things that you learn when you're new.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was 6 months in, and I was like, what is this filament drying of which they speak?
I mean, I bought my first dryer literally, I think, the same day I bought my printer. I don't remember right.
By the time I learned about drying, I already had the Ace with the 8 boxes.
Well, and I can tell you where this myth comes. A lot of this myth is not comes from, but propagates from, and that's, sites like Printables. Build your own dry box. It is not a dry box. It's simply a storage box.
Yeah, I mean, reality does no different than what John's saying with the plastic cereal box.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got
Simple
a
as
12 of them up my shelf myself.
Okay. Most 3D printing stuff is not watertight. And if it is not watertight, it is not airtight. And if it is not airtight,
Exactly.
it is not a fucking dry box.
It's always fun to get Alex riled up.
Don't waste your filament printing a dry box of any sort. I don't care what my fellow content creators try to sell you on with their dry box creations. Don't fucking do it. It's not worth the money. It doesn't work at all.
I
Yes,
never designed one. Never.
yes, Da
Alex,
Vinci.
can I interest you in a dry box? No, I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, basically,
Cereal
you
boxes
can-
are great. Ziploc bags are great. Poly dryer boxes are great. I have a theory that polymakers are stopping including the Ziploc bags to try to get more sales on the dry boxes, but I cannot prove it. But I'm not amused. All this time, Pezlis has spent trying to convince people not to stab the bag.
stab that bag.
And
I
now
keep stab the bag.
now we're taking away the one reason that we had for not stabbing the bag.
I always
I
stab
will.
the bag because nobody's the boss of me.
Ow. Ow.
Especially when you use a razor blade to really open them. It's like,
I buy these off of Temu by I think they come in packs of 36 for $7.
Yeah.
I tried
And
those when
you
I
can-
first started 3D printing.
You can pump them
And-
out.
I've got some, and
If
I
I-
do use them when I'm traveling, like when we went to your place before, things like that. But I don't use them on a daily basis, and they're good to use maybe 3 or 4 times, and then they quit holding the seal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the amount of pumping that you've got to do to vacuum those things, man, I haven't
Oh, no,
done
no,
that
no.
much
I use my
pumping
food
since I
sealer.
was a teenage boy.
Yeah, no, I've got an electric.
Clip
I've got an
it.
electric.
Yeah, I have I use my food sealer for it. So
Yeah, mine's electric, sir.
So these are the HKJ chef cereal containers that are 6 for $30, basically. I mean, they're a little bit less, but
which is why I have.
The issue is it's not necessarily a scalable solution.
Yeah, that's the one problem with the cereal boxes.
I don't know how many of them you have, right? But let's say you're into it. You've been in this hobby for, 3 or 4 years. You probably have somewhere between 100 and 200 spools of open filament sitting around.
Rookie.
And I'm saying most people, right? You're gonna have people on the far end of the spectrum. They're like, I've been 3D printing for 10 years. I don't open one spool until I finished another, right? Also, all I print is black PLA. And then you'll have people that have 500 spools of filament. Looking at you, Joe. And also, don't tell him about the Odyssey. It doesn't matter that it's been out for 2,500 years. He doesn't want spoilers.
I will not tell.
that was pretty funny.
oh god.
But
There were
Okay.
very few Argonauts harmed in the making of that.
The main character doesn't die at the end.
let's say you're doing it John's way, because if you're buying poly dry boxes at $20 a shot for your, 200 rolls of filament, I don't know. You have a financial bank account where I don't understand why you're even worrying about it. If the filament's wet, don't dry it. Throw it away and buy another one. You've got the money for it. But
then I can't buy more filament and have my filament.
you can't have your filament and use it too.
It's all about.
But what's 200 divided by 6?
Well, 40 would be divided by 5, so
like 50 some, 52,
So
something
I've
like
got
that.
about 30 boxes, and so it's cost me about $150 just for storage.
Yeah.
And the reason I did that was because I thought I need 30 of them, and I got about 10 of each kind of colors: 10 PLA, 10 PETG, 10 ABS, that I would have open at a time. And I was like, okay, so I can get this. They sold a big multi-pack that was 30 of them, and it was like $125. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, how much filament could I buy for that? Maybe 10. If I save 10, over the life of my time, it's paid for itself. So to me, I had the extra cash flow, and it was worth it.
Yeah, at that scale, it's fine. But let's
Right.
say you're 300 spools and you've got a 10x that, and you're suddenly, $1,600 in the hole on
Right.
filament containers, which also take up more room than a spool in a bag.
They do take up room.
But, is it, if your filament's going to sit around for a very extended period of time, then it makes a lot more sense.
Yep.
If you're like, this is a, $200 spool of filament or $1,000 spool of filament, or, even a $70 spool of like PPS from Polymaker, and you're like, it's probably going to take me 2 years to run through this all. This container is probably going to be more reliable than a bag, then yeah. But to store all of your filament that way at that scale would be hard.
And the thing is a lot of times I would buy this filament, and the bags that it came shipped in were already, it had air in them. They weren't, the vacuum seal was already broke.
I had some come in from Amazon that it was completely out of the bag, just in the box. The bag had left the chat. So,
right.
Okay. Now something to be said about, just because the bag has air in it doesn't mean that the vacuum seal has been broken. Plastic off gases.
Yep. It does.
So if that filament is one that's been sitting around a warehouse for 6-12 months, it may have off-gassed enough that that bag, it's not puffy, it's not a balloon, but it's also doesn't seem like it's sealed any longer.
Right.
But in actuality, it probably still is.
Right.
It just has off-gassed. That
You
plastic is off-gassed.
You got to try to push it to make sure that the seal's still there.
Yeah.
So, but I try to, the desiccant will absorb some of that too, but it's safe. It's
that's
safe.
another thing too with desiccant is it can also promote your filament to off gas more rapidly and degrade faster that way. I would say you're probably better off for long-term storage if you've got a good container like that's sealed. Sealed up, try to do it inside in climate control where the humidity is not bad, so you're not locking in like 100% humidity air. But you're probably better off not putting any desiccant in it. Just dry the filament, put it in there, and then leave it be with no desiccant.
Yep.
So you're not also promoting off-gassing and degradation that way.
when I get spools that have those, I usually just throw them into a box that's sealed like this.
Mhm.
So you can just put the bags in there as they are, and then hopefully that helps, keep some of that away. So you can try to do all kinds of different things. But I know that putting them in the cereal boxes has saved me a lot of money and filament going bad. So just my preference.
Oh no, it's fine. I was just saying, like, if tomorrow you're like, oh shit, I forgot about this 10 grand I had in my backyard. I'm going to place a huge order with Polymaker and another huge order with Amazon Haul.
Who
Whatever.
are you kidding, dude? That's 4 spools.
Like the containers might not be the scalable option.
Right.
That's 4 spools of Galaxy Purple, man.
The optimal solution is to buy what you print and use it up, right?
It depends. We just had this conversation about last night with me and Brad, where I was saying that when I build a printer, if I know I need, like the Trident, let's say I know I need 1 spool of planetary blue and 2 spools of galaxy dark gray. I ordered 3 spools of galaxy dark gray, put 1 on the shelf. I ordered 2 spools of the planetary blue, put 1 on the shelf. That way, in 2 years, if I want to do a mod or something and they don't make the filament anymore, or you can't order it because whatever, or just because you're too fucking broke to fucking afford to buy filament at that moment, you've got the filament to do it.
Absolutely.
And also color matching and stuff like that.
Yep.
One batch to the next, pretty good. Some companies are better than others, but particularly if you're ordering, I found this really cool company from this no-name brand on, Temu. It's really cool. I'm going to use it for this project.
But like,
are you going to be able to trust that color is the same color?
Yeah. So like
10,000 batches later.
Like Da Vinci says, though, his issue is, would you use 25% of a spool to print a filament box? And I have the same issue with people trying to use up entire spools to make a stacking solution. It's like at some point, using up all your filament to store your filament doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
No, you're better off buying something from IKEA, Gladware, whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's like, so I made the Gerari drawers, right? And leading up to that, I was a huge advocate for, like, don't 3D print these storage solutions. They don't make sense monetarily, right? By the time you've 3D printed this, you can go and buy a decent off-the-shelf version of the same thing.
Yep.
If not a high-end version of the same damn thing. But there are some specific use cases where I need to store something very specific. There is no off-the-shelf solution for it, right? And then it makes sense, right? So like the Gerari drawers I did, and like there's no off-the-shelf solution for maker chip storage, right? And there's no off-the-shelf solution for that.
Sometimes it's just fun, though.
Yeah, and sometimes it's fun. And then, like, I've got holders for different Allen wrenches and stuff like that that I've been custom tailored to the tool, and that makes a little bit more sense. But to print the amount of people that were 3D printing drawers, like generalized drawer solutions, right? Like an Acro Mills bins thing, to put their hardware in when they were building their Voron. They were taking a roll of filament or more to print this drawer solution to sort their screws when they were building their printer. Like, my guy, you can go over to Harbor Freight and buy a 40 bin drawer thing for normally you can get them for $15 because they're on sale every other week for something.
Yep, about 2 of them.
Go to Walmart and go into the sporting goods section and get a fishing. Go to the fishing lures and get one of the.
Oh God, they overcharge the crap out of you for those things.
You can get like 3 of the plastic bins for $8.
Oh, the bins. I thought you meant like the tackle box things.
No, not the tackle boxes. The white clear plastic ones.
I had a cool thing happen recently with a tackle box. So when I was doing RC 20 years ago, I had a Plano brand box, right? And it was the top of the line one that they made. And I used it for RC car stuff. I used it as a pit box for RC stuff. Had parts, had tools, right? I could normally get my trucks and stuff back up and running with what I had in there. And then I ended up using it as a screw organizer when I was doing construction. And doing construction, it saw some hard days. So I moved here and I went over to Harbor Freight and I bought like they look like the knockoff version of the Stackamos that Adam Savage uses, right? And I got those, sorted my screws into that and put that out at the trash. That was like 6 years ago. I'm out with my daughter riding our scooters around and we're on the other side of town. And this kid is standing fishing in like just drain water runoff, right? And he's got my box, and I know it's mine because nobody else is going to have those stickers because some of them were custom made just for me. It was my box, right? No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It was my box. And I put that thing out of the trash. She's like, I bought it at a yard sale years ago. It sat down in the basement. So somebody pulled it out of my trash, then ended up selling it at a yard sale where this guy, actually the guy's dad bought it at a yard sale. For it to sit down in the basement for a couple of years, for this kid to decide that he wanted to try his hand at fishing, and he's like, "Oh, I can use this as a tackle box," and it was just, and then for me to run across it, it was just cool.
Let me guess, it was the flip up top, and the fold down front with the 5 drawers.
There's 3 drawers that were separated, and then on the side it had another cubby that like 3 of the like divided things slid into.
My wife is actually using my old RC box as her nail stuff.
Oh, nice. But yeah. So like, and I was talking to the kid for a couple minutes and told him like kind of the history of it and like explained what all the stickers were and stuff like that. And he was more interested than most kids would have been at that age in the history of an object that he just happened to be using for fishing.
That's cool.
So
Walmart still sells all the Plano stuff. I'm surprised they're still around.
Oh yeah,
by the way, in case
they do, not that particular box, but a very close version of it. Yeah.
If you want to do it on the cheap, go out to like Hobby Lobby.
The last one was patently false, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to do it on the cheap, go out to Hobby Lobby and grab you one for like threads or like cross stitching and stuff.
Yep.
Hobby Lobby has a lot of storage solutions, really good. I'm gonna pick up as soon as I have the money. I think I'm gonna pick up another storage bin for screws, but the Harbor Freight one is not great long term. So they've got one that's like 80 drawers, I want to say it is. So twice as many. I'm going to pick that up and redo my screw storage.
By the way, I did post a link in chat for anybody interested in trying to win a free T2 Systems Fill a Partner E1. There's only like 135 people that have entered that so far. There's like 18 days left. So you got really good odds.
Da Vinci asked about the MOG, the Unimog RC that
we were talking about this in chat the other day. I'm going to say anybody that attempts that, go buy one of these. Because your hand is going to hurt.
Which one is that?
It's the Unimog RC kit from LDO. It's like $500.
No, I
It's
meant
got about 4,000 screws.
the screwdriver you were showing. Which one is that?
Oh,
It's it was so cheap
not
you
the
on
best one
Amazon.
in the world, but go get yourself an electric screwdriver. Period.
I mean, even the
Or
Cyber
three.
Freight one is pretty good.
But
Cyber
make,
Freight Power one's pretty good.
but make
I
sure
did
you read the reviews.
find out how to fix. This one actually, I found out that there's some special settings based on the little clicks that you can up torque it.
Oh, you and I might have checked.
I'll share that with you later, Jonathan.
So
Yes.
I bought a couple of electric screwdrivers on Amazon before checking the reviews. And then after I had problems with it, after the, 30-day return window, and it just died immediately, then reading the reviews, everybody's died. So make sure you read those reviews on those electric
The reviews
little
were
thin
actually pretty
electric-
decent
Yeah.
on this one.
So,
First
yeah.
thing
Jonathan,
you
have
do-
you had luck with that one? That looks like the Bauer one from Harbor Freight.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like this one. This one has a decent torque to it as well.
Yeah, so I had one of those, and the concentricity on that thing was atrocious.
Yeah, I ended up going to a Ryobi for my big one, and
Yeah.
then I bought this little set. I don't know, it's a weird name.
Yeah,
Can't
I will
say
say this: stay
That little
as far
fella
away
works
from
all
this
right.
brand
Yeah.
as possible. Durafix.
I like
has
both
on
of
and
the
off.
skills that I have.
There's no torque
Where
settings.
is my other one? Oh yeah, it's charging. I didn't take it off the charger. But I got two skills, and then I found this just a hyper tough drill at Walmart, 12-volt one, on clearance for some like $10. Because sometimes you gotta set like a 60-millimeter screw through plastic, and that takes
yeah.
a while when your thread pitch is 0.5 millimeters.
But it's squirrel time at the moment, everybody. We got a few minutes left in the show. I just wanted to I just hope everybody enjoyed the this segment of we're taking things to court because these myths need to stop.
Do we ever have a not squirrel time?
Well, we need squirrel time.
So if we have a not squirrel time, somebody has to let me know when it is, because I'm going to crash that party and chase squirrels.
We need squirrels.
We do.
Bye, Malik. Have a good night.
So should we do one more? Claim 10? Stringing always means the
No,
filament
we
is
need
wet?
to. We
Are we
need
gonna wrap
to
it up?
We're gonna wrap that segment up and just have squirrel moment.
I mean, we should have already went down that path with screwdrivers.
Yes, we already did. So I'm happy to have squirrel moments because you know what? It's been a long week already, and it's only Wednesday.
John, what color are you going to print your fracks in?
I don't know. I have some ambrosia. What was that one?
Yeah, he doesn't have enough of a selection there, so
Because I'm assuming you want that out of an engineering grade material, right?
I think this is going to be the.
I don't think it's necessarily needed, but probably ABS is
Oh,
good.
put your glasses on, old man.
This is the titanium anode. So
No.
you don't think so?
Mm-mm.
No. What,
So the Dolos filaments are really nice. The ASAs you've got to dry
this is
for
the color,
days
This is the
before you print it, even straight out
Wow.
of the package,
this is
and
the
then
color
print it directly from the dry box. Yeah, the colors, the titanium anode, the Prince of Purple, all those Dolos line in ASA.
Yep.
In PLA, they're fine. They're just like a regular PLA, but for some reason in the ASAs, they're really hygroscopic.
Yeah.
I think they ship them just straight out of the bathtub.
No, they don't. It's just
This one's still sealed very well. So
I know, but it'll still be wet straight out of the thing.
yeah.
And I find also you got to print it kind of cool, but the layer adhesions on them is not great. You don't want to do any like functional parts with them.
Huh.
So it'd be fine for like some accent parts or something like that. But yeah,
I still
like I said, amazing filament. The PLA is great.
I still have some of this. What is this? The ASA carbon fiber. Some red.
Yeah, that'll work.
The what is it called? It's the.
I don't know. Let me turn the lights
where
on.
you get
here.
the 500 gram spool, but man, that stuff is nice.
Blinding.
The layers on this ASA, so nice. I mean,
I open this up.
You can't see any layer lines and nothing. This looks like it was just formed, you know.
Yeah.
I
Carbon
think
fiber filament
that-
looks so nice when printed.
Yep.
So does
I
glass
think
fiber.
everybody
I think I have another spool of that too. So
Oh,
maybe I'll do
maybe.
it in that. I was waiting for a real special project for this stuff.
Yeah. I've used that exact filament to print printers with.
Was it fun?
I've reprinted a lot of it.
I think everybody needs to get a roll of this.
Which one's this? This is. Yeah. Let's see.
The Polymaker ABS Pro, specifically in this color.
That looks nice.
It does look nice.
I've got a roll of it. I think it's in black. I think I got it. Or the ABS Max. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm waiting for the roll of ABS Max to come in. This is the one, the roll I won off of Joel's stream last week. This is the Gradient Ice, or 2 weeks ago.
Pretty. It's very
It
pretty.
is very pretty. And then I just went ahead and ordered a roll of ABS ABS Max to try it out. Because this, the specs on this has a higher UV rating, higher ratings altogether than ASA.
Huh.
I want to
So
try that.
I actually want to put it to the test.
Yeah, I want to try that high temperature PLA they have and test it out.
Yeah. Also,
Hey.
I was wrong apparently on the proto pasta. HTPLA is not high temperature PLA; it's heat treatable PLA.
Huh. So you have to cure it or
Enamel
after you
it?
print.
I don't-
What is it called?
I didn't.
Anneal.
I didn't-
Yeah.
I didn't go into it too much for beyond the fact that I was wrong about it being high temp and it actually being heat treatable. And I did not bother looking into what the heat treatable meant. But
Stick by your guns, Alex.
Oh,
well,
Da Vinci
if
wants
I'm
to know
wrong, I'm
what-
wrong,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But you're
Da Vinci
never
wants to
wrong,
know what
right?
he thinks are what he thinks the new Polymaker announcement's going to be. I don't know. I think they're going to be doing their own a brand new TPU line.
Did they officially release the dryer for the 3 kilogram spools?
No,
I bet you that's what it is.
I think it's a new TPU line because people have been asking about it.
Yeah, but it's talking about high temperature.
I think it's going to be a high temp.
I think it's going to be a 3 kilogram dryer that goes hotter.
Maybe.
Has anybody?
Or maybe a dryer that can do peak.
Nobody needs a dryer that can do peak. Okay, no, I take that back. Some people need a dryer that does peak, but if you need a dryer to dry peak, you're not looking at Polymaker dryers. How's that?
No, you're looking at more like Stratus systems or something.
Yeah. You're
They
printing
sell
out
it,
of tin
so-
cans. No, I'm
I think
just
that,
saying, like, by the
doesn't
time
that
you've
big,
gotten to the point
Delta
where
used to
you're
do it?
spending hundreds of dollars per roll for your filament, you're probably using a more industrial dryer for your filaments. And
Yeah.
because materials like that, you do not want them to fluctuate. You don't want to have to dry them.
Right.
I know.
You want to maintain.
Oh, we
What
lost
just happened?
We lost him. He hung up.
I would say something shut off, died, internet cycle.
There we go. He's
No,
back.
I don't know. You're wanting
did you just
something
do?
that I have no idea. Everything, you guys all disappeared,
Uh-huh.
and then I
all-
wasn't there. And
It was
then
all
who
our
knows?
fault.
We'll blame it on
Go
RJ.
way back here, so
Yeah, you're probably using an environmental chamber where you're maintaining an ideal humidity and ideal temperature, stuff like that,
yeah.
to maintain those materials. And you're probably printing enough that you're cycling through that material pretty quick, right? You are finishing a spool in a day or a day and a half, whatever, depending on how big your spool is and how fast your machine's printing it. But
So, Caleb made a comment saying that he's going to try the Michaels filament. Has anybody tried that yet?
No, but it looks like it's probably a Polymaker thing. Aren't they the ones carrying the make filament?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's a
think it is.
Polymaker white box.
And the
I'm
same
pretty
thing
sure
with the Best Buy too.
I'm pretty sure that's why Polymaker is out of stock of their own filament, is because they have pretty much they're over capacity manufacturing right now. So
white labeling for everybody else.
yeah.
Well, remember, a bunch of micro centers just went
Excuse me.
through an entire remodel cycle on a lot
Yep.
of their stores. And during that remodel cycle, they had cut back the amount of stuff that they were keeping on shelves. And they were only stocking what they would turn around in a 1 week period
Yeah.
during
And
those
remember,
remodel cycles. And with
Polymaker
those,
also makes all of
with those remodels finishing, they're going to bring their inventory levels back up, and
Yeah.
Polymaker makes white labels a lot of the inland filament.
Mhm.
they do, as well as Polymaker makes all of almost all of Bamboo's filament.
Not anymore. Bamboo
Yeah, I
started
heard
their
that-
own production.
Somebody said that wasn't the case anymore.
No,
That-
that's
well,
why
not
for a
all of
while,
it, almost
Reddit
all.
was
They
just-
still have part of the contract still, from what I understand.
the internet was just absolutely loaded for a while there with the Bamboo crowd. Like, oh my God, this stuff used to print so good, and now it doesn't. And that
No.
was their growing pain phase.
Brad, can you move
Well,
your
maybe they've
camera?
got their own production lines up and running. I don't know.
Yeah, why? What's my camera looking at?
No, I'm just saying we're all enjoying your wife's needlepoint, but I'd really like to see what you're doing on that Delta Flyer.
Oh, I'm just doing the delta. I'm just doing the delta calibrate right now.
I know. I'm like, I want a closer view. I mean, your wife's needlepoint is fine, but you know.
But
Ignore my lack of wire management at the moment.
and there's been
it's
so
a
many
little bit
white
far
labels
away.
that have
It's
come
hard
out
to see.
recently, you know.
That are
And
pretty much
the-
polymaker. Yeah.
Well, it's either Polymaker or Sunlu, you know, that have been pretty much white labeling everybody.
eSun used to do a lot of white labeling for places
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
The
'cause eSun does the basics line for Micro Center.
Yep.
eSun's not a bad filament for a cheapie.
no, it's a little. Is it eSun or Sunlu that can be a little weird because they've got you'll order a thing and it's a 900 gram spool rather than a 1 kilogram spool.
I think they'll both do it.
That
At
bit me
times.
in the ass one time.
Yeah, I've actually had both of them do that. On,
Well, at least
especially on
it
some
was
of their
only
sales.
9/10 of a bite mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was a job that I quoted out for somebody, and I knew how much filament I needed. It was just over 900 grams. I was like, perfect. I can do this filament. Is cheap enough. It's a brand that I trust, and so I ordered it, and then come to find out it wasn't actually enough. And so I had to buy and reprint the whole thing.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Shrike, what do you mean
So
Star
I
Trek
went from
mentioned?
making money on that project to
Not.
just breaking even on that project.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
But, gentlemen, we are just a little bit over here. And I want to thank everybody for showing up. You guys are awesome. And hopefully we can work through the rest of those 40. And I actually have a bunch to add to it because I have actually over 100 myths.
Oops, this could be a really long series.
that I was planning on spreading it out over like a year and just pocketing it into, not having a full episode, just dedicated to it, just pocketing it in here and there. But hopefully we can just, try to put to bed some of this nonsense, that newbies get caught up in. Because the first thing they got a problem with is they get a problem and they go to Reddit and people just give them crap information.
Yes,
because they believe it themselves because they weren't corrected on it when they were told it.
Yeah, for the longest time, you'd go in and look for help, and they're just like, just going to bump. Well, guess what? They need calibrated and fixed up once in a while, too.
Yeah.
And if you know the basics.
Jonathan knows that himself. He's got a broken bamboo.
If you know the basics of it,
right
you
there.
can take care of it yourself.
It's fun to talk about this because, some of it originates a long time ago and still is talked about like, it's still a thing. And sometimes it's not a thing anymore. So it's good to know the origin of some of these false ideas.
Myth: you can print with trimmer line from the shed. 1, yeah. 2, nah. 3, not just yes, but it's awesome.
They used to do it. The rep days.
Yes, you can.
It's not fantastic.
I've done it.
Yeah.
I have not done it, but
I heard the myth and I
it's been
decided to
done.
put it to the test and I clogged the nozzle, but I did it.
Yeah. Here's a fun fact.
Alex has Miralax.
Your nylon trimmer line, if you soak that in water, it does become stronger.
It does.
Interesting.
It does.
It's still not fun to print with. It gets kind of stringy, but
yeah.
It takes
Not
a while
all
to get the
trimmer
print
lines
settings right.
nylon though, so they're making that out of.
A lot of it's monofilament now.
Yeah. Some of it, the more expensive stuff, is multi-parts where it's got different materials in it. So it's like co-extruded stuff.
I no longer have a trimmer to have trimmer line to try. So
You have a trimmer. His name is Jose.
yeah. We have about a dozen trimmers of all varying degrees of different folks. Some of them are college students.
Yeah, some of that new filament that is multiple types of material in the strand is kind of interesting. So,
Yep. But I just want to remind everybody, August 5th through the 15th, we'll be doing the Stand Up to Cancer charity event.
Yep.
And I'm printing these little blocks. These will be based for any of the donations. It's kind of cool.
is this cinder block?
It's a cinder block.
Yep.
I can't copy Lego, so I decided to do cinder blocks with the Stand Up to Cancer logo embedded in them.
Do you think you'd get sued if you put wings on there? Then it'd be cinder wings.
So we're going to be
How's that going?
printing a
Printing them
boatload
face
of
down.
It's, well, instead of 14 hours, it's 7 hours, so it works better. Lots better.
Nice. All right.
Yeah,
well,
I
I will
would've
talk to
remembered
you
that.
gentlemen later. I'm going to call it a night.
All
Have a
right,
good one,
buddy.
man.
Thanks for being here. Everybody, thanks for being here. Appreciate all the, John for being here.
Yeah, thanks for
Alex,
having me.
Brad, Jonathan, everybody in chat. You guys are awesome. And you know what? We're going to do it again next Wednesday. And remember, Saturday we do the workshop hangout as well. So, yeah. This is, Shrike, all two of us, huh? All two of you. Boy, you were, kind of on it tonight. But anyway.
At least there's more likes than there are people viewing.
Yep.
That counts.
Oh yeah,
That does
I
count.
would have gone in and hit that.
I mean, we were up to, combined between Twitch and YouTube, we had over 50 at some point. And when we first started, we still have 16 viewing right now. So I don't know from which points, but it is what it is.
Yep. Well, thanks for having me.
But anyway,
Yep.
thanks for being here, everybody. We're out of here.
Have a good
I'm
night.
gone. Good night.